Like many of you, I am passionate about PvP in Destiny 2, and it's clear that we haven't had a consistent message around these modes. So I'd like to share our high-level vision of the Crucible. Direct player versus player competition is essential in Destiny as an option to express mastery of your Guardian and showcase the strength of your arsenal against other players. These words alone are more direct, insightful, and meaningful than anything Bungie has said regarding the Crucible since the introduction of Redrix's Claymore. They communicate vision, clarity, and intent. I'm Ascendant Nomad, and I'm your Crucible Doctor. Today, Assistant Game Director Joe Blackburn dropped the mother of all updates, the one we were waiting for. The state of Destiny 2 in 2021, looking at the short, medium, and long-term futures of the game. This time last year, Luke Smith handled this post and introduced the concept of sunsetting and the promise of less FOMO, both of which have been delivered. This time, Bungie have undone sunsetting and have expounded upon a whole host of community concerns and issues that haven't been addressed until now. The subjects talked about were transmogrification, coming in Season 14, Crossplay, coming in Season 15, the Vault of Glass, coming in Season 14, the Power Grind, which has been significantly reduced for the upcoming seasons, and the Witch Queen, which has been delayed until early 2022. If you want to know more about any of these subjects, I recommend Datto, Aztecross, or Javanist to watch. Or you can read about it yourself from the link in the description below. What we're going to be talking about in this video is the section dedicated to PvP called Angels of Death. I was hoping for a section like this, and I cannot fully express my joy the words I'm about to read to you. Direct player versus player competition is essential in Destiny as an option to express mastery of your Guardian and showcase the strength of your arsenal against other players. It's a simple vision, but it's one that's crucial to making the game feel like a real place for those players that crave that showcase, where the rewards you've earned, the skill you demonstrate, and how you've built your Guardian all matter. So let's talk about what we're doing this year for PvP, starting with our two priorities: improving gameplay sandbox balance in the Crucible and upgrading the experiences of our most aspirational game modes. First, in Season 15, we will be addressing 3-peaking in Trials and Competitive. In these modes, emotes will be disabled and players will be unable to pull out any third-person weapon that doesn't have ammo. Third-person experiences are part of what makes Destiny's gameplay feel so good, but it was clear that in most competitive arenas that these mechanics were being used in ways we did not intend. This is a tricky problem to solve in Destiny's complicated sandbox, but we think this is a good starting point. Let me stop real quick to elucidate my reaction to this. Holy sh**! Yes! Yes, Bungie, get in! Apologies. The only thing bad about this is Season 15, but I'll get into that much later. Let's continue. Second, over the next several seasons, we will be making changes to Stasis and Light subclasses in order to better achieve a healthier balance of subclasses in the Crucible. Across Season 13 and 14, we will be adjusting Stasis in the Crucible in order to bring its overall effectiveness in line with our Light subclasses. Here are some of the changes you can expect coming to updates this season and next. Behemoth Titan. Decreased super damage reduction. Increased super energy cost when performing light attacks. Remove freeze AoE on supercast. Reduce traveling efficacy of Shiver Strike when slowed. Revenant Hunter. Decrease Withering Blade damage and tracking. Decrease slow stacks applied to targets. Remove Shatter Dive damage reduction. Shadebinder Warlock. Fix bug where Ice Flare bolts wouldn't track towards targets immediately on creation. Fix bug where Shadebinder super projectiles were not tracking until a certain distance traveled. And in general, decrease crystal shatter damage. For Season 15, we are also looking at universal adjustments to Stasis by increasing damage reduction when frozen to provide more survivability for the victim. This is very good news. They know that Stasis is currently too strong, and it doesn't take big data to realize that most people are running Stasis builds in this current meta, both casually and competitively. Following this Stasis tuning in Season 15, we will also focus on the light subclasses and release a set of targeted buffs to our most underutilized specializations. The goal of all of these changes is to keep Stasis feeling great in PvE and to bring its representation in PvP more in line with our light-based abilities. In my eyes, Stasis probably needed to be shipped a little bit too strong. It's their key selling point for Beyond Light, their key gadget for the trailers to make people say, "Whoa, this is cool, I want to play this." If it's shipped in an underwhelming state, there would have been countless negative PR hit pieces against it, and nobody would have used it, and nobody would have played the game. Right now, the reality is that it's so oppressive and strong that irrespective of how fun you, me, or anyone else perceives it to be, it's objectively the best choice for the Crucible. And I doubt that was ever the long-term goal of Bungie, and it's nice to see that confirmed on screen now. Finally, we want to continue to adjust weapon archetype performance and introduce new perks that shift the meta in the Crucible. I think the team has done a great job in this area over the last several months, introducing balance changes both at the seasonal boundaries and the mid-season, and we want to continue to drive down this path to diversify the types of loadouts you encounter from season to season. In addition, at Season 15, we will also be looking to adjust overall ability usage rates to make sure guns and gunplay are always key to success in the Crucible. To make sure guns and gunplay are always key to success in the Crucible. Once again, allow me to elaborate on the significance of that last sentence. Holy sh**! Yes! Yes! Thank you so goddamn much! Holy! Thank you! Of course, gameplay balance only matters when the underlying playing field is fair, and unfortunately cheating continues to be a significant issue, especially on PC. We're always working to maintain security as new exploits emerge, and as always, we don't want to talk about a lot of those improvements for fear of empowering the bad guys. A few areas we can talk about are: we're aiming to nearly double the size of Bungie game security team this year, reflecting our long-term commitment to fair play. We've begun regular surveys to better understand your experiences with cheating and to measure our progress. This new data enriches our existing streams from player reports, thank you for reporting, and game instrumentation. If you receive one of these surveys, please share your experiences to help us fight cheating. We've begun a strategy of aggressive legal action against cheat developers. You may have seen some news articles about some of our early actions here, and we will continue to pursue those who undermine fair play using every tool at our disposal, both in partnerships with other studios and under our own flag. We will share more security news when we can. Anti-cheat is coming, or it's even here, but it's going to become even more prevalent. They're doubling down their security team. They're attacking cheat makers. They're committed again to taking this seriously. Something to note about cheats is that you can never really get rid of them. They evolve over time. One cheat developer gets hit, another one rises soon enough to take their place. The motivations to cheat are as old as time itself, and as Valorant has shown, you can have the most sophisticated anti-cheat in history, but people will still find a way in. Developing protections against cheats is a thankless task with the worst negative feedback loop imaginable. You're rarely thanked for your work and endlessly bombarded by naysayers and doubters whenever a cheater pops up. I would also like to say that Trials State encourages cheaters and recovs using cheats, so blame lies on the structure of Trials as a whole as well. Speaking of which, here's some Trials news. Beyond gameplay balance and security, we also want to adjust the structures of our most aspirational PvP modes in order to make them a better experience for our players. First up, we're targeting an overhaul of the Trials of Osiris reward structure and matchmaking paradigms to release before the end of this year. With this update, we specifically want to target a few things. 1. Improve the overall health of the Trials matchmaking pool, both by incentivizing a wider audience to engage and better defining separation of skill tiers. Number 2. Rebuild the Trials reward structure so that it encourages more players to stick to their active cards longer. Our current structure encourages a lot of recycling cards after a single loss, meaning the first games of your Trials card has a high chance of being incredibly challenging. We want to build a reward structure that continually pushes higher skill players to want to progress deeper into their card even after a loss, making 3 to 5 wins a more achievable goal for more players. And number 3, investigate opportunities for solo players to participate in Trials regularly. We believe this will not only make the matchmaking pools healthier, but also will encourage more players to see what Trials is all about and hopefully form social connections with other PvP-loving Guardians. Anything that's aiming to get more players into Trials is a good thing. Separating skill tiers is important, but I don't want it to kill replayability. A pretty common suggestion you see on the internet is that flawless players should be locked within a separate matchmaking pool, which is a terrible idea for the long-term health of the mode. You can't make changes to protect the casual player base without also looking at the hardcore folks and the people who just play Trials for Trials. There needs to be a compassion for all players on the skill spectrum. I myself have failed many times over the course of my YouTube career to realize this. The current reward structure involves a lot of card recycling simply because the loot isn't good enough. The token system is garbage. Devices like the Prismatic Recaster and the Umbral system are much better for the long-term future and offer a means of adding depth with more variables to control the experiences better. Regarding sweaty game ones, I agree with Joe. They shouldn't be a thing. But this is because the population at game 1 is abysmal to begin with. You're more likely to face a team of recovs and flawless gilded players more often than not. This is skill creep at work. Skill creep is a direct result of a waning player base. So to reverse it, make it the reason to play Destiny on the weekends. Shower it with loot, better drop chances, better guns, better everything. Make it the #1 reason to log in. Plagiarize everything from Kujay's video. Please. I've done enough spitballing for now. Truth be told, when it comes to addressing the skill spectrum, I don't know what the right solution here would be. But I trust Joe and the Bungie team to work on it. The reason I think they're going to get it right is because they've identified what the problems are to begin with. The right problems. Bungie's problems with Destiny have been a history of providing the right solutions to the wrong problems. If they're getting the problems right, then the solutions should also be good. One final note on PvP. After Trials, we will be targeting a similar in-scope refresh to Iron Banner. While there is a lot of work to do when it comes to supporting the Crucible, we want to target our efforts around global PvP balance and our most aspirational modes first. And you know what? I'm okay with that. It should be a top-down approach. I can live with the mediocre Crucible experience with the knowledge that something better is coming. And it is. Season 15 is over 3 months away, and we do need to live with the current state of the Crucible for a little while longer. I assume there will be a balance pass mid-season in the next few weeks, as well as a comprehensive meta shift for Season 14 when time has passed that can enable the team to make the changes that they've mentioned. It's a wait-and-see situation, but at least the order has been given. And that's enough for me. Overall, the anxiety I felt yesterday when making the State of the Meta video has pretty much dissipated. It feels very comforting to not only have the core issues of cheating, 3-peaking, and Trials acknowledged, but to have a full section in this article dedicated to just that. I have some lingering questions, as I'm sure you do, but clarity will come in time. This is just a preview article of their top priorities, and PvP was mentioned in a big way. If there's one line you should take away from all of this, it's this one. In Season 15, we will also be looking to adjust overall ability usage rates to make sure guns and gunplay are always key to success in the Crucible. They haven't lost touch of what's important, and I am so ready for it. So here's the timestamp version of the TLDR right here. They listened. My name is Ascendant Nomad, and I'm your Crucible Doctor. Today's been a very good day. Cheers.